Welcome back. The other type of database object available in serverless SQL Pool is that views. Views are basically virtual tables with rows and columns. The contents of the view is defined by the select statement provided in the definition of the view. You can provide any select statement that returns a set of rows and columns. For example, let's assume that the data is present in an external storage such as ADLS Gen 2. It can be Cosmos DB or any other external storage. Serverless SQL Pool can read the data from. We know that we can use the open row set function and a select statement to see the data in the data. You can create a view on this selected output so that the users and the applications can now access the view without worrying about all the parameters that are required for the open row set function, such as storage account, location, file formats, etc. Similarly, as we did in the previous lesson, we know that they can create an external table on top of the data in the data lake storage. We can create a view on this selection from the external storage too. You might be thinking why we should create a view on top of an external table instead of selecting data directly from the external table. As we know, an external table on a file has to have all the columns and rows from the data in the storage. There is no ability to restrict the data being selected, whether it's rows or columns, whereas if you create a view, you can select only the columns you want the users to see, as well as apply the classes to limit the data. Also, in certain scenarios, you can use the view to contain only summarized data. Finally, you can also create a view on top of the data from another view as well. This is especially helpful when you want to restrict access to some of the data to certain users. The syntax for creating a view is quite simple. It starts with create view and then you specify the view name. You can also specify the schema name and column names, but they are optional. This is followed by the keyword as and then a valid select statement. Let's see an example that uses open row set function in the select statement. As you can see, we are selecting data from a vendor that's CSV filed using the open row set function and then creating a view on top of that in our bronze layer. Let's now take a look at a view on a selection from an external table. Here the view is selecting data from taxi zone external table in our bronze layer. As you can see, we are only selecting a subset of columns as well as we filtered the data to contain only one borough, which is Brooklyn. You can combine selecting from both open row set and an external table too using a join condition. Also, you can create a view on a selection from another view as well. As we said before, hope all of this makes sense in the next session. We will put all of this into practice to reinforce your understanding.